All right, so today we're going to dive into prepping for a bank teller interview.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to break down common questions,
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to answer them like a pro,
Sounds good.
and sprinkle in some career wisdom from RoleCatcher's resources.
Yeah,
It's all about being ready to impress in that interview.
exactly. The more prepared you feel, the more confident you'll be.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher can really help you out.
Oh, tell me more.
It's a free AI-powered platform,
Okay.
like having a career coach in your pocket.
Nice.
We'll talk more about its features later.
Okay.
But first, let's jump into those interview questions.
All right, let's start with one you're almost guaranteed to hear.
Okay.
Describe your experience with cash handling.
Okay, cash handling seems pretty straightforward,
Right.
but I bet there's more to it than just saying,
Yeah.
I've worked a cash register before.
Yeah, definitely. They're looking for more than just experience.
Uh.
They want to see if you understand the gravity of handling money accurately and securely.
So how do you make your answer stand out?
Focus on specifics.
Okay.
Don't just say you've used a point-of-sale system.
Right?
Tell them about a time you had to balance a tricky cash drawer at the end of a busy shift,
Yeah.
or how you meticulously double-checked every transaction to prevent errors.
So it's about showing them you're careful and responsible, even under pressure.
Exactly. And even if your previous roles weren't directly in banking, you can still highlight transferable skills.
Okay.
Did you manage a budget for a club or organization?
Mm-hmm.
Did you handle petty cash for a project?
Yeah.
Those experiences demonstrate your ability to handle money responsibly.
That's a great point. It's all about connecting the dots for them, showing them how your past experiences have prepared you for this role.
Right, and be ready for follow-up questions.
Okay.
They might ask about a time you caught a discrepancy,
Yeah.
or how you'd handle a situation where the till is short.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to another common question. How do you handle difficult customers who are dissatisfied with their banking experience?
Ooh, this one is all about showing your composure and your ability to turn a potentially negative interaction into a positive one.
Right.
Remember, bank tellers are often the first point of contact for customers.
Yeah.
So you need to be a master of diplomacy.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you've done, but how you think and how you'd react in different situations.
You got it. So when answering this question, highlight your empathy and active listening skills.
Right.
Instead of just saying, I'd listen to the customer,
Yeah.
try something like I'd
Yeah.
first acknowledge the customer's frustration and let them know I understand their concerns.
Ooh, I like that it shows you're already thinking about how to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
What else can you do to make your answer shine?
Share a concise anecdote about a time you successfully dealt with a challenging customer.
Okay.
Focus on the positive.
Yeah.
How you remained calm, found a solution, and left the customer feeling heard and respected.
That's so important. You want to demonstrate that you can handle those tough moments with grace and professionalism.
Right?
And again, be prepared for follow-up questions.
Of course.
They might ask about a time you couldn't resolve a customer's issue
Mm-hmm.
or how you'd handle a particularly aggressive individual.
Exactly. They're looking for those critical thinking skills and your ability to stay calm under pressure.
Right.
Now let's shift gears to a question about organization.
Okay.
How do you prioritize your tasks and manage your time effectively?
Time management.
Yeah.
That's a skill everyone needs.
Right.
Not just bank tellers,
Mm-hmm.
but I imagine it's especially crucial in a fast-paced environment like a bank.
Absolutely. Tellers often have to juggle multiple responsibilities at once.
Right.
Processing transactions, answering phones, assisting customers, and completing administrative tasks.
So how do you convince them you're the king or queen of organization?
Be specific.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, I'm organized,
Right.
talk about the strategies you use to stay on top of things. Do you use to-do lists? Do you
Yeah.
color code your calendar? Do you break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks?
I love that. You show them you have a system and you're not just winging it.
Right. And don't forget to emphasize your dedication to meeting deadlines.
Yeah.
Banks operate on strict schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So demonstrating your ability to prioritize and stay on track is essential.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered cash handling,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with difficult customers,
Right.
and time management.
Yeah.
What other questions should our listener be ready for?
Let's talk about accuracy.
Okay.
Interviewers often ask,
Right.
how do you ensure accuracy in your work as a bank teller?
Okay. Accuracy. I'm guessing this is where attention to detail really comes into play.
You got it. Mistakes in banking can have serious consequences.
Right.
So they want to see that you're meticulous and thorough.
So how do you impress them with your answer?
Again, be specific.
Okay.
Don't just say, I'm careful.
Right.
Talk about your double-checking procedures. Do you verify amounts on receipts?
Yeah.
Do you meticulously count and recount cash?
Yeah.
Do you utilize any verification tools provided by the bank?
Those are great examples.
Well,
It shows you're going above and beyond to prevent errors.
right. And this is a great opportunity to showcase any experience you have with data entry or accounting software.
Mm-hmm.
Familiarity with these tools demonstrates your technical proficiency and your ability to work accurately in a digital environment.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
It's all about showing them you have the skills and the mindset to be a reliable and accurate teller.
Exactly. And speaking of skills,
Yeah.
let's move on to a question that explores your commitment to staying current.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with the latest banking regulations and policies?
Okay. Regulations. I'm guessing this is where it gets a little more technical.
It can be,
Right.
but it's also a chance to show your dedication to continuous learning.
Okay.
The banking industry is constantly evolving,
Mm-hmm.
with new technologies and regulations emerging all the time.
So how do you convince them you're not going to fall behind?
Share your go-to sources for industry news and updates.
Okay.
Do you subscribe to banking publications?
Yeah.
Do you follow relevant blogs or websites?
Hmm?
Do you attend industry events or webinars?
Right.
Mentioning specific resources demonstrates your proactive approach to professional development.
I see. It's not just about knowing the regulations right now.
Yeah,
It's about showing them you're committed to staying informed as the industry changes.
precisely. And you can even weave in specific regulations you're familiar with.
Oh,
For instance, you could mention KYC,
okay.
Know Your Customer,
Okay.
which is all about preventing financial crimes
Right.
and protecting both the bank and the customer.
KYC, got it. That's a good example. So besides staying informed, what else are they looking for with this question?
They want to see that you understand the importance of compliance.
Okay.
Banks operate under strict regulations.
Right.
And tellers play a key role in ensuring the bank adheres to those rules.
That makes sense. It's all about protecting the bank and its customers.
Exactly. Now let's move on to another crucial aspect of banking,
Okay.
confidentiality,
Yeah.
I might ask you.
Yeah.
How do you handle confidential information and maintain customer privacy?
Okay. Confidentiality, that's huge in banking.
Uh-huh.
People trust banks with their most sensitive financial information.
Right.
So it's essential to show you take that responsibility seriously.
Absolutely. And you can really impress them by outlining specific steps you take to safeguard customer information.
Okay.
Talk about shredding documents,
Yeah.
using secure passwords,
Hmm.
being mindful of conversations in public areas,
Right.
and adhering to all data privacy regulations.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
It shows you're already thinking about those everyday practices that protect customer privacy.
Right. And you can even mention any training you've received on data security or privacy protocols.
Okay.
This demonstrates your commitment to following best practices and protecting sensitive information.
I bet that makes a big difference. It shows you're not just aware of the importance of confidentiality,
Mm-hmm.
but you're actively taking steps to uphold it.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears and tackle a scenario-based question that often comes up.
Right.
How do you handle a situation where a customer is unable to meet the requirements for opening a new account?
Okay. This sounds like a tricky one.
Yeah.
You have to balance being helpful and empathetic while still adhering to the bank's policies.
You hit the nail on the head. This question is designed to test your ability to deliver potentially disappointing news while maintaining a positive customer experience.
So how do you navigate that delicate situation?
Empathy is key.
Okay.
Acknowledge the customer's disappointment and let them know you understand their situation.
Yeah.
Then shift the focus to finding alternative solutions.
Right.
Maybe they qualify for a different type of account,
Mm-hmm.
or perhaps there are other financial products that might better suit their needs.
So it's about turning a no into a let's explore other options.
Exactly.
I like that.
The goal is to make the customer feel heard and supported, even if you can't grant their initial request.
Okay.
And remember, be prepared for follow-up questions.
Right.
They might ask you about specific account requirements,
Mm.
or how you'd explain complex banking policies in a way that's easy for customers to understand.
That makes sense. It's not enough to just know the rules you have to be able to communicate them effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's move on to another scenario-based question that tests your problem-solving skills.
Okay.
How do you handle a situation where a customer disputes a transaction?
Ooh, transaction disputes. Those can be stressful even for seasoned tellers. I bet this question is all about staying calm and collected under pressure.
You're right. They want to see that you can remain professional and follow the proper procedures even when dealing with a frustrated customer.
So how do you demonstrate those skills in your answer?
Start by emphasizing the importance of remaining calm
Oh.
and gathering all the relevant information.
Mm.
Mention that you'd actively listen to the customer's concerns. And explain the bank's process for investigating disputes clearly and respectfully.
Okay, so it's about showing them you can be the voice of reason even in a heated situation.
Exactly. And be ready to answer follow-up questions about specific types of disputes
Okay.
or how you to escalate the issue if necessary.
Right.
They want to see that you can handle those situations with professionalism and good judgment.
That makes sense. It's not just about solving the immediate problem. It's about showing them you can navigate the complexities of banking with confidence and integrity.
Right.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here,
Mm-hmm.
from handling cash and tricky customers
Yeah.
to staying up to date on regulations and resolving disputes.
Right.
Before we move on to career insights and the RoleCatcher advantage, is there one final question our listeners should be ready for?
Yes. Let's wrap up this section with a question that assesses your knowledge of financial products and your ability to responsibly promote them.
Okay.
They might ask you,
Right.
how do you handle a situation where a customer requests a loan or credit extension?
Okay. Loans and credit. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
You're not just processing transactions anymore. You're helping customers navigate their financial futures.
Exactly. They want to see that you understand the bank's lending criteria and can assess a customer's eligibility responsibly.
Right.
So when answering this question, mention things like reviewing credit history and income levels to determine suitability.
So it's about showing them you're not just pushing products.
Right.
You're carefully considering the customer's best interests.
Right. You want to demonstrate that you're knowledgeable about the bank's specific loan and credit policies and can confidently guide customers through the application process. And don't forget,
Okay.
even if a customer doesn't qualify for a particular product,
Right.
you can still offer helpful advice and resources. Maybe there are alternative lending options or financial education programs that might be beneficial.
That's a great point. It's all about providing excellent customer service, even when you're delivering potentially disappointing news.
Thanks.
Okay. I think we've given our listener a solid foundation for tackling those tough interview questions.
I think so too.
What do you think? Ready to move on to some career insights and the magic of RoleCatcher?
Absolutely. Let's give our listener a moment to process all this valuable information and then explore what comes next after that interview.
Sounds good. Okay, so we've tackled those tricky interview questions, but landing the job is just the beginning, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What happens after you ace that interview and officially become a bank teller?
Right. What does the future hold?
Exactly. So for our listener who's picturing themselves in that teller role, what are some of the paths they could take to move up that career ladder?
Well, a natural next step is becoming a head teller.
Okay, head teller.
Yeah, you're leading a team, managing daily operations, and really getting a deep dive into how a branch runs smoothly.
Head teller, that sounds like a great way to build leadership skills. What other options are out there?
You could think about those tricky customer situations we talked about earlier. If you're a pro at handling those, a customer service representative role could be a perfect fit.
Okay, customer service rep.
Yeah, you'd be dealing with a wider range of customer needs, maybe even resolving more complex issues.
I can see how those de-escalation skills would be super valuable there. And you mentioned regulations earlier. How important is it to stay updated on those as you advance your career?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial, especially with all the new financial technologies popping up.
Right.
Take KYC, for example. Know your customer.
Right, KYC.
It's all about preventing financial crimes and protecting both the bank and the customer. Being knowledgeable about these regulations shows you're serious about compliance and security, which is something every employer values.
KYC, got it. So keeping up with industry news, maybe even taking some courses, that's all part of being a successful banker, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's not just about what you know today, but about continually learning and growing.
You hit the nail on the head. And speaking of growth, let's not forget about the power of networking.
Oh, yeah. Networking is key.
Okay, networking. I know it's important, but honestly, it can feel a bit intimidating, especially if you're just starting out. Any tips for our listener on how to approach networking without feeling overwhelmed?
Think of it less like networking and more like connecting.
Okay, connecting.
Yeah, joining groups like the American Bankers Association can be a fantastic way to meet people in the industry.
Okay, the ABA.
Right. Or even just engaging with people on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Sharing your thoughts on an article, commenting on someone's post, you never know where a conversation might lead.
That makes it feel a lot less daunting. It's
Yeah.
about building genuine connections, not just collecting business cards.
Exactly. Now, remember RoleCatcher, that awesome AI platform we talked about earlier?
Right, RoleCatcher.
It can be a huge help when it comes to tailoring your answers and presenting yourself in the best possible light, not just for that initial interview, but throughout your entire banking career.
Okay, let's talk about RoleCatcher. How does it actually help someone prepare for an interview, especially when it comes to those tricky behavioral questions where you have to tell a story or give a specific example?
Well, imagine this.
Okay.
You're practicing your answer to the difficult customer question, but you're not sure if your anecdote is hitting all the right notes.
Yeah, I've been there.
You can actually input your practice response into RoleCatcher, and its AI will analyze it, giving you feedback on things like clarity, structure, and whether you're effectively showcasing the skills the interviewer is looking for.
Wow, that's like having a personal interview coach right there in your pocket. So it's not just giving you generic advice, it's actually tailoring its feedback to the specific job you're applying for.
Exactly. It pulls in data from real job descriptions and interview feedback to give you the most relevant and targeted advice possible.
That's incredible.
Right.
It takes the guesswork out of interview prep. And it's not just for behavioral questions, right?
Nope.
It can help with those technical questions about regulations and procedures, too.
Absolutely. Let's say you're asked about a specific regulation, like KYC.
Right. KYC.
You can use RoleCatcher to research the topic, understand its implications, and even practice weaving it into your answers in a way that demonstrates your knowledge and expertise.
So it's like a one-stop shop for all things interview prep.
Yeah.
It helps you understand the job requirements, craft compelling answers, and even practice your delivery. I'm starting to see why you're so enthusiastic about this platform.
Well, it's not just me. Countless users have found RoleCatcher to be a game changer in their job search journey. And the best part is, it's completely free to use.
Free.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've covered interview questions, career paths,
Right.
networking,
Yes.
and even how RoleCatcher can help you ace every step of the process.
It's a powerful tool.
I feel like we've given our listener a pretty solid toolkit for navigating the world of banking.
I think so. But there's one final piece of the puzzle I want to touch on.
Okay, one final piece.
Yeah, it's something that goes beyond skills and experience and really sets successful candidates apart. Ooh, I'm intrigued. What is this secret ingredient for success? So what is this final piece of the puzzle that sets those successful candidates apart?
It's all about finding your spark.
Your spark.
What makes you unique? What are you passionate about?
Hmm.
Those things might not be on your resume, but they can make all the difference in an interview.
Okay, so it's not just about reciting your skills.
Right.
It's about letting your personality and enthusiasm shine through.
Exactly. Let's say you're passionate about financial literacy
Okay.
and helping people make smart money choices.
Right.
Even though that's not a direct requirement for a teller position, you can weave that passion into your answers.
So if you're asked about your career goals, you could talk about how you'd love to eventually help customers with financial planning.
Right.
Or maybe even lead workshops on budgeting.
Exactly. It shows you're thinking beyond the immediate role and that you genuinely care about the impact you can have on customers' lives.
I love that. It's about bringing your whole self to the interview, not just the bank teller version of yourself.
Right. And that authenticity can be incredibly compelling. It helps you connect with the interviewer on a personal level and makes you more memorable.
So for our listener who's prepping for that bank teller interview, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to help them find their spark and really shine?
Think about what truly excites you about that role.
Okay.
Is it the fast-paced environment, the opportunity to help people with their everyday financial needs, the potential to learn and grow in a dynamic industry?
Right.
Whatever it is, let that enthusiasm fuel your answers.
I love that advice.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting the job. It's about finding a role where you can truly thrive and make a difference.
Absolutely. And remember, the banking industry is full of opportunities for those who are willing to learn, grow, and bring their unique talents to the table.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listener with a sense of excitement and possibility.
Yeah.
You've got this.
You do.
You have the skills, the knowledge, and the resources to ace that interview and launch a successful banking career.
You've got everything you need.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
Absolutely.
From crafting your resume to practicing your answers to connecting with industry professionals.
You've got you covered.
That's right. Head over to RoleCatcher, sign up for free, and start building the banking career of your dreams.
It's time to take charge of your future.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
And remember, let your spark shine.